Up next will be a panel discussion, and we'd like to introduce a new member to the team who will be joining the panel. So we'd like to welcome Johan Giel, who is the Group Chief Operating Officer at AFGRI. Johan, my first question is to you. Johan, 70% of the respondents actually indicated that they are willing to collaborate in the IT space, to improve their companies. How practical is that, seeing that most of them are competitors within the very same industry? Do you think it's a possibility?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think it is not always practical or easy to get the information, but the Competition Commission does make it quite difficult these days to share any type of information. But I don't think it's about share specific information per client, but it's more by sharing information about cost. And I think that this definitely will have huge benefits to the industry if we can share that cost. The cost of IT in the agri-industry is really significant. If you look at our margins in the agri-industry, it's really thin, and wherever we should be able to get better, more sufficient and effective, we should actually investigate that. So definitely I think practical, we have our challenges to try and do that. And the Competition Commission is one of them, as I've said. But yes, I think there's some huge benefits by actually having these discussions and information make available. So yeah, in conclusion, I would like to say yes, we should do that. I think I got a silly question maybe to the panel, but also to the agri-industry out there. I'm going to make a statement, and it might not be 100% correct, but I think the amount of money we spend in the agri-sector on IT is quite a substantial number. I guess around about 1.2, 1.3 billion rand on IT systems per annum. If you look at our margins and which is really thin in the agri-industry, if you look at our profits, it's not huge. If you take all the profit after tax numbers for the whole of the agri-industry, I don't think it will be more than 1.5 billion rand. So whatever money we're making, we spend equally on IT. And like I said, that's an assumption. But I think the principle is not by far out. So I think what I would like to ask everyone out there, shouldn't we put all this money into one company, have a company running all the IT for the whole agri-industry, manage independently, have a board looking after that company, and make sure that you get the correct service, a service that everyone would like to enjoy, and also have a proper service delivery on the IT side. And then I think, rather, because we have another challenge in the agri-industry, but connectivity on the countryside is not great. And rather spend more money on that, you will actually deliver a service to your client base. And our guess, and it's real guess, of spending half the money, most of us will have better systems, better controls, happier client base, and we'll make more money. So I think let's investigate, let's discuss, and see what we can do with this challenge. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, Johan. Now back to you. What do you think is the importance of business intelligence as well as data analytics in the agriculture sector? And if it is important to you, why are so few participants actually participating or contributing in the BI and data analytics space?
I think the BI question is an interesting one, because I think you might ask a number of people, might get different answers for yes or no. In person, I think I've always struggled with the concept. I didn't get the benefit out of it by spending lots of money and spending a lot of time. But there's definitely a benefit after I've actually seen it working in the last 2, 3, 4 years. But it's costing quite a bit of money. But you need to have a dedicated team making sure it's working. You need to ensure that you're working from one database. And actually make sure that all the information in that database is balancing, and that's balancing back to your reporting. If that's not happening, that is something which you would only lose money and will have not the benefit of such a let's call it database. There's lots of information in most of our agri systems. We keep a lot of information for different reasons, but we never use that data to the full extent. Argument, most of us are selling tractors into our farmers and producers. We're also servicing them, we're selling parts to them. But we don't look at the data. I think if you use your data correctly, you will at least have some background, and you can actually use data from one sector to the next one. So definitely there's huge benefits of using business information. It makes a lot of things easier in your processes, and you have a well-developed plan, a team who is taking care of it, and a team who is taking responsibility for it. You can make that successful, but just don't rush it. Don't think it's a 6-month program. Usually it would take much longer. But plan it properly, have a committed team, and you will get the benefits. But like I've said, it took me quite a while to get to this answer, because the first times I've tried to implement that, it wasn't successful. The last time it was.
Now over to you, Asif, as a leading digital expert. What are the technologies that you think are important and you've seen their value in other industries that can be, leveraged off in agri-space as well?
Hi, Phumza, thank you for the question. I think there is a number of technologies that can be spoken about today that can be applied in the agri-sector as well. If we look at what has been happening in terms of digital transformation across other industries, I think so agriculture is no different to any of the others when we look at how transformation can happen within those sectors. Some of the things prohibiting, though, farmers today from adopting transformation within their sectors could be a number of areas. And I think I touched on some of that in my presentation, such as connectivity, costs, and complexity. Those are kind of the top 3 things that come to mind for me. And each of these can be addressed today through the improvements that have been taking place, both in the technology as well as in the capabilities today that exist around the farmer, whether it's telecommunications or the use or the knowledge that farmers are having today versus what was available years ago. So a number of things that can be addressed almost immediately today is things like the use of AI, as an example, to help accelerate their capability within farming, keeping in mind that most of farmers today use their knowledge from years ago in terms of how they farm, and their knowledge comes from a heritage sometimes or brought down from generation to generation. Today's technology is able to help kind of almost create farming in a box. And I think so that's the power that's available today. But when we look at transformation in its broadest thing, it's around a process. So it's about the stages that the farmer goes through in terms of what he needs to be able to manage. So it's all the way from starting from capturing the manual processes all the way through to automating. And these are steps that a farmer would need to go through. One of the most powerful things that one has available today is information. And the use of information is really how farmers can help scale and accelerate their capability that they have in terms of what they know of the farm and how do they use that. So things like business intelligence or intelligence from data itself will help them accelerate that. So I hope that kind of touches on what can happen or what kind of technologies can assist a farmer in the short to medium term to help them get going very quickly. Thank you.
Now, looking at emerging technologies, artificial intelligence, blockchain, which are the technologies that you think would be of use and of value in the agri-space?
I think so. We spent a lot of time talking today about the Microsoft FarmBeats platform. I think so that what that brings together, more importantly, is not just the platform itself, but it brings together an ecosystem of players that contribute towards the success. So when we look at emerging technologies, I think that could be definitely one of them, packaged together with things like partner solutions and the use of AI or artificial intelligence to really help accelerate the capability and knowledge that the farmer will now develop as they go through, I think are one of the areas. Another thing that I would like to maybe just touch on is things like marketplaces. How are farmers really going to be able to, once they've developed this capability, really start to effectively bring their products to market in a scalable manner? Keeping in mind that what we are creating here today is really evolutionary in terms of the farmer, or real innovation taking place in terms of how the farmer will be able to scale their businesses going forward. Once they have that, they need to really plug into the full ecosystem, or within their ecosystem or supply chain, into their suppliers, into their providers of services and fertilizer, etc. How do they bring all of that together? I think so is kind of the next important thing that we need to address address. And that will also help address another cost factor for farmers, which is the cost of the transaction. And how do they get their produce to market quick enough through that ecosystem? So the supply chain or the marketplace brought together with the technologies that we're proposing together brings together truly that end-to-end solution for the farmer. So I think going into the future, I think we're going to start to see more of this come together. And what I would like to say is probably more effective or innovative farming as we go into the future. Thank you, Phumza.
Now, my question is to Rika. Rika, you have a wealth of experience in the IT industry. Your background has been in banking, and now you find yourself in the agri-sector space. When you do a comparison in the various industries, how does the agriculture sector fare in as far as the IT spend and just the development in the IT space? What are your views around that?
Phumza, this is an interesting question. The evidence of the complexity of these industry players are visible in the number of business types they are involved in, which actually totals to 30. And the average number of businesses that participants are involved in is 14 businesses, and the highest being 23 businesses. Now imagine you need to run 23 different businesses and the systems that are required to run that business. So to answer your question, the complexity of these agribusinesses are quite high. To answer your second part of the question is, how does the IT spend look? In the results, we revealed that the IT spend versus operational expenses is 5.43%. Now, I have to say that the industry is the biggest influencing factor on this specific metric. And all the industries vary. So to give you a few examples, firstly, banking and financial sector is almost on 9%. Okay, media and entertainment is on 6.3%, education on 6%, retail 2%, food processing 1.5%. And now you can see with 5.43%, for agri industry, we're sitting almost in the middle. And it would be interesting in future benchmarks to see whether that really changed and whether that number is the true reflection of how much IT spend is compared to operational expenses.
Flo, this one is for you. Now, the report tells of how important the secondary agriculture is in helping farmers transform. But it looks like they're not using a lot of technologies. What do you think they can leverage off technologies to scale and to maybe magnify what they're doing within the sector?
It's an incredible honor to be included in this prestigious panel with big business, or at least big tech and big agri. What it seems is that we share this common objective of leveraging technology to make sure that the agri-food ecosystem is thriving, is globally competitive, and more importantly, in this instance, is inclusive. So we're really keen to network, to explore opportunities for collaboration, particularly with big tech and with big agri, to see where the gaps can be filled within the ecosystem, such that there is a seamless flow of technology from the innovators to the users, who in this instance are small-scale farmers.
Now, Sarah, my next question is to you. Now, it looks like there's a whole lot of technologies that can really be leveraged off the agriculture sector. But it looks like the barrier to entry is always the price. How do you think the farmers could best leverage these technologies without the constraint of price?
Thank you for the question. I believe that is one that many are asking. I believe, like most of the things in Africa, IT is just another area where we should learn how to control it rather than to own it. The moment we switch our mindsets away from ownership, there's a multitude of possibilities. I believe that more and more of these solutions will be offered on a subscription or consumption basis, and that businesses should seriously consider these rather than the traditional outright purchasing models. I personally like these models as they help to improve our balance sheets by improving our financial gearing, making it easier to access funding for our core business activities. And the fact that companies receive up to 43% of their annual cash flow back in taxes alone makes it even more attractive. I also like the fact that these models enable businesses to switch to newer technologies faster, driving digital transformation in a very real and practical way. So to answer your question in a clear way, I believe businesses will be able to afford these new technologies by renting them rather than owning them.
Hannes, this question is for you. Now, the history of IT has been about having the big servers and, owning the actual physical equipment. What do you think the role of IT will be in the future? Looking at the different IT, solutions that are coming up, software as a service and all of the others. What do you think this will look like in the future?
That is such an interesting question. So if we look back onto how IT is traditionally seen when it comes to the business, each department business unit works and acts alone in the business like a silo. This is the case with IT as well. Ownership of the systems resides with IT, and IT plays the administrator for it, therefore taking all the slack when things don't work out. This then creates a disconnect between what the business wants and what IT thinks is best and can provide, because they are not well integrated. In the future, we will see more of the business and IT moving closer to each other to better integrate. Businesses coming up and saying, hey, we have these requirements and this is the system we are looking for. IT then having the know-how of these systems and the background technical knowledge. Together, they can better make decisions, thus playing the role of enabling and helping the business. IT will not own all these systems and processes anymore, but rather enable it. So they will be responsible, but the business still accountable. IT will help glue all the different business aspects together, being their support and helping them realize the full potential of the system.
Leader, as a people's person, my question is to you. Now, what is the single most important thing that IT has to do to get greater productivity as well as performance of the company?
The short answer, performance management. Performance management, if done correctly, can really help the IT department to implement its strategy, increase productivity and efficiencies within their team. With the recent pandemic, with remote working becoming a reality for all of us, performance management is also something that we can use to start managing outputs and results versus input and effort. So in the benchmark study, 60% of the participants indicated that performance management is a critical process for their business. Now, that's a bit concerning, but I think the reason for that is that, number one, the process is really misunderstood within the market, and secondly, it's badly implemented. So I think we need to do a lot of effort to help people within this industry to understand the value that this process can bring to the table and to help them to really unlock the potential that sits within this process and what it can offer the business. Thank you.
Well, I don't know about you, but that was certainly an insightful time for me to just listen to the experts about where the industry is headed and the insights of the report, the detail that is carried within that. It surely gives the decision makers quite a lot of insight to work from. And you are welcome to visit the Grovation site where the report will be loaded and it is available for sale. It is www.grovation.com, and have an absolutely amazing day.